What's going on, guys, and welcome back. So we went to locals today and we played some EDO. At locals, we ended up going 2-1. We only do 3 rounds. It's kind of weird how they do it. But round 1, I lost to PK Fire. Game 1, I misplayed really badly. I was like so tunnel visioned in on access code, you can't respond to its effects, and I had Solemn Strike. I could have just negated the entire summon, and that ended up being pretty big. Game 2, I got blown out of the water, so I'm not saying I would have won the match by any means. I just most likely would have won game 1 had I played that out properly. So just remember that, guys. Like, you can negate access code summon, just like I got no excuse for it. I made a pretty bad misplay and it cost me a game. Again, I don't know if I would have won the match. If it went like game 2, I would not have won the match. I would have got absolutely wrecked. Round 2, I beat Virtual World, and I'll talk about it a bit once we go through the deck profile. And round 3, I actually beat Brock, who I go there with, who's also streams on the channel as part of Team Set Pass. All that, we got paired up the final round. He actually pulled this beautiful thing, and I owe him for it, but yeah, he hooked me up with it. So 1 down, 2 to go. So huge shout out to Brock, huge thank you. And like I said, I definitely owe him 2 or 3 or 4 or 10. But yeah, so we're gonna play Cyber Traps today is what we did. I did go on EDO Pro after I got back, since we only play 3 rounds at locals, and it's kind of, you know, it's just how they do it regardless. We've had 30 people there and they do 3 rounds. It's what we have for in real play, so that's what we have. On EDO, then I played Dragon Link and 2 Tri-Brigade. Tri-Brigade's like free for this deck. Not always, I mean, especially if they open order, but especially for the trap build, Tri-Brigade is really not a big issue. But yeah, we 2-0'd both Tri-Brigades, and Dragon Link went to game 3, but we did beat those 3 decks as well. And I felt like 6 was a pretty good sample size. There were a lot more EDO matches in there, but those were the 3 meta relevant ones, so there's no point in, hey guys, I beat Dark Magician. Like, you see the point there. Like, I wanted to get a few meta matchups so I could tell you guys how the deck performs. Anyway, 1 Cyber Dragon cards, you know, it's the trap build. 1 is absolutely plenty. 3 core, 3 hers, and 1 Naxter. That's our Cyber Dragon lineup. So playmat, by the way, yugioh Limburg, or Yu-Gi-Oh Limburg. Google them, go check them out. We used to have a really good partnership. He hasn't done too much for more playmats, but he has a Ghost Girls one too that's really awesome. We are starting to do our own playmats. They'll be here Tuesday, guys. But before I got my own playmats, I did want to give him one last shout out, because this thing is honestly one of my favorite playmats I own, and I absolutely love the details. Again, I'll throw a link for his website down below if you're interested in this playmat. So the lineup here, the 1 Cyber Dragon, 1 Naxter, both are pretty standard for trap builds. You a lot of times see like Fear or Dry. I'm not playing either one, because for me a big thing that's off-putting about the trap build is I feel like it runs out of gas sometimes. The traps can do so good at controlling the matchup and keeping you in it, and no matter how hard I try, I feel like there's always going to be some games where it just runs out of gas before my opponent does. So I actually keep the 2 Galaxy Soldier in, because I don't think it's that clunky or bricky with it. Once in a while, sure, it happens, but you still just have to play smart, and like, you can still like save it in your hand. You don't have to commit to that play. You can use your traps, even if you set a few traps, and like keep a couple of them for your turn to either break your opponent's board, or even like hold that Solemn Strike for on your turn, so when you try to start doing your combo and they try to negate it, you Solemn Strike them and you can be safe that way. So I do really like the Galaxy Soldier still in the trap build. And let's not forget, when Yassine first made the trap build and topped the YCS, what was it, Montreal, he played Galaxy Soldier. Just saying. I know he disagrees with it now, and by all means, I'm not saying he's wrong. He's very accomplished, but personally for me, I feel like Galaxy Soldier still helps the deck out a ton. I am playing Dogmatika with it. The engine is so much cheaper now thanks to the Megatons. I went double Ecclesia, 1 Fleur. I debated cutting the Fleur, but it actually came up a couple times today where I kept it. I like it because Punishment is my main play. You'll see the Spice here in a second. But so Punishment being my main play and locking me out my next turn, sometimes you don't need the double pop off Intis. Sometimes you're going to use that Intis to go ahead and pop your own Scythe, which again, I'll tell you guys how we do that a little bit later. But so you're locked out on your turn too. but sometimes you can actually just pop the one because you'll have like Overflow, Infinity, other things, and you can actually send Titaniclad off your punishment, pop their card, and then in the end phase punishment, search out your other Ecclesia and either search it or summon it, and say you summon it, then you can go ahead and grab your Fluer anyway. So that's just something you can do that way, and then you like can special summon this, and once he boosts ever, and that's 3/2/2, that's already 7k on board right here. So it just really helps again with the deck having that extra gas and pushing through for damage and for game, and not solely relying on the traps to just out resource your opponent. I use the traps to control the matchup and to give me a really good option until I'm able to just start punching through with the engines and with everything. And honestly, I wouldn't change just about anything. The one Scythe, I actually didn't have this for the Burning Abyss matchup round 1. My one round I lost. I didn't realize it until I was siding after game 1. And I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot Scythe at home. I didn't put Scythe in my deck. And I was just like, how did that happen? But I was able to get one there relatively easily. So it came up huge in Virtual World. Like games 2 and 3, I popped Scythe. And like game 1, I went Infinity, had Overflow, I believe even. Maybe not. But I had Infinity, Dagda, Ecclesia, and Punishment. And he's like, okay, hand was kind of awkward. He normal GG. And I punishment the GG and sent the Intis, and then Intis popped the Scythe, summoned Scythe, effective Scythe, and he couldn't go into his extra deck, so he like couldn't do anything at that point. So I ended up, he just scooped that game. Next game was a little bit grindier, and I didn't quite open as good, but I opened good enough to pop my own Scythe again, and it just like Scythe is insane right now. Like this card just crazy. Obviously Grand Maju, I didn't play the Scythe, I sided it out, but that's it for the monster lineup. 3 Cyber Emergency, pretty standard. We are playing Galaxy Soldier, so 1 Repair Plant. Cyber Load Fusion, again, shout out to Brock for hooking me up because mine disappeared. And 1 Intis, because my Golder has disappeared, so he did hook me up with the second copy. He helped me out a lot. It's a two-way street. I helped him with the Makaba today, so we're even, right? That's how that works. 1 Overload Fusion, like these 2 is plenty. Oddly enough, I used Search this one and used it once, or I had it in my hand and used it one time. In Overload Fusion, I used once off of Verde, but for the most part today, like I only used each of these once. Otherwise, I was able to, between the traps, the Dogmatika, the Galaxy Soldiers, like that's what I mean. Like the deck isn't just trap, 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 fusion card, win. It's traps, and you have fusion cards, you have Dogmatika, you have Galaxy Soldier, you got Infinity, you got Zeus. Like the deck has just so much gas to play with, and it's a lot more my play style than what the trap builds have typically turned into. Moving forward, I would probably play just with 1 Ecclesia. Unfortunately though, I only have 2 Nadir, so it was really easy to just add an Ecclesia in place of the 3rd Nadir. And like I said, had I had 3 Nadir, I probably would cut the 1 Ecclesia and just call it a day. Double Prosperity, again, card. I banished just 3 usually, and it almost felt win more. I saw it was 3 times. I saw it 3 times. Once it did help, I'm not gonna lie, but like usually it's just digging for an extra disruption on top of what I was already getting, because the deck just flowed really, really smoothly. If you have it, absolutely, I would play it, but to say it's a necessity, it's not. But like, I don't know, you could play even like 2 trap tricks to take a little of the RNG out of your traps, because then like you can search your punishments to really pop that Scythe. You can search your overflows, your impermanences. So that's it for our cyber trap lineup. We got the 2 overflow, 3 infinite impermanences. By the way, alties look amazing. I cannot wait to get them. Not that the ultras don't, but them alties, like I saw a video of them today. Ooh, they look good. 3 punishment. Again, I went 3 punishment because I don't know, it just really worked. I didn't want to play Torrential. That was one really strong option, but punishment just, it felt better with the Scythe package, and having 3, I saw it enough, and being able to search it out too, it was really, really good. 3 Solemn Strike. you know, that's pretty standard for most of the trap builds. 3 goes in match. I normally was going to play Rivalry, but obviously with the Dogmatikas and with Scythe and everything, Rivalry didn't really seem that great, and goes in match, like versus, I mean, like an established Drytron board, they already have what they need, so Gozen's not that good, but we didn't play Drytron. Like on Dragon Link, like if you're going first, you can flip it when they have a light monster on board and you stop them. Drytron, a lot of time go into Link Haribo and you can Gozen them then. Tri Brigade, it messes with Prank Kids, it messes with Virtual World. If they have an established board, they still have Crystal Wing Shen, but you can at least get rid of one of their cards. And then we did play 2 Lost World. Card came up a lot, just being able to get it back from the graveyard. Yassine, I actually saw he was playing this now too, and Breakthrough Skill, which is another good trap for if you're looking for other options. But the idea behind cards like this are you use it, and it's like a lot of time you're losing technically one card, but you're negating one of their cards. And then when they special summon, you set it back, and then, yeah, it's actually, you know, you get it back again. So it hits them twice. BA, funny enough, game 1, I actually forgot to set this during, like, after I used it and he started special summoning more. I forgot to set it, and then next turn I drew my other one for turn. I set it, his turn he opened up with Feather Duster, so it actually worked out really good that I forgot, because then I was able to set both of them when he special summoned and still have disruption. And then 1 Imperial Order, it didn't come up at all, I didn't see it at all, but yeah, I was pretty confident in not needing spells once the deck was already rolling, so the card's just really strong overall. 2 Mega Fleets, the 1 Fortress. I did switch this slightly, but I was like debating. I like 3 between them. Would I go back to the 2 Fortress again? Possibly, depends on what I'm really expecting to run into. 1 Cyber End Dragon. So this was more of a Nibiru situation, and especially with like any event that actually uses time, like going late into the game, if you're close to time and you get like Nibiru and you bring this out, they'll probably put it in defense position, so then you attack over it and do piercing damage. Bigger reason though, this isn't like, oh, Nova, that's cheeky, there's better options. Sometimes your opponent summons a big card, and you know, I have Dino players at our locals, and Conductor is 3,500, so it actually doubles up as a really big beater that you can send off of punishment, so that way you can destroy a card that has a lot of attack. So it actually has 2 uses. It's a punishment target to clear out a big threat, and it's also a target for your Nova. The 1 Fortress Rampage Dragon, I would possibly cut the 1 Mega Fleet for a second one. There's a couple times where I was kind of like, I could definitely use it, but I didn't end up having it, so possibly cut a Mega Fleet for it. 1 Titaniclad and the 2 Intis for my Dogmatika punishment targets. Otherwise, like I said, we have the Cyber End Dragon if needed. 1 Nova, 2 Infinity. So this ratio, because I like to, like, your normal play, you use 1 of each, right? And then it's like, oh, your next play, well, I'm not playing dupe, and with just the Galaxy Soldier, I'm rarely going to be able to make a second rank 5 anyway. And on top of that, like, if I summon Naxter and I revive Cyber Dragon Infinity, and they do something to, like, disrupt my play, I can't really do anything, because like if they pop them, I'm just kind of, you know, out of luck. But if I bring back Nova and they pop them, I can float Nova into the Cyber End, into the Chimera Tag Rampage Dragon, and if they don't, I can just overlay my second Infinity now and just leave this one in the grave and overlay the second one, and then I already have a negate by that point, and then I can go ahead and attack or steal a monster or something like that, and then we can go into Zeus as like another power play. And even with Gozen match, guys, Zeus is a light machine, so it works with Rivalry, it works with Gozen. It's a lot cheaper now, so I do really recommend playing it, since you should be able to. 3 links, the Almiraj Verde and the Dagda. Again, like, we make a generic link 2 so easily, that's why we run Dragoon if you do, but like being able to make your Almiraj and Dagda, and then you can go ahead and Ecclesia effect, summon it effect, and then you chain your Dogda to it and you set your Scythe, you get your punishment, and then you might as well just reach your hand out because you're winning that game anyway. Side deck. So this is all dependent on where you're going to play. So I don't say play these cards specifically, but if you're playing where I play, these cards are really good. Nibiru being probably pretty standard in most side decks or main decks. Cards really crazy. There's a lot of like Grand Maju, Brock, Virtual Worlds, what's the other one? Tri Brigade, all get hit really hard there. Just going second against like Dragoon being able to crash into it or Kaiju over it. Back row hate, Twister's Feather Duster. Another one to kind of give like Virtual World problems. And then also when I know I'm going first and really want to get to that Scythe, grabbing those 3 Sanctums. So that's pretty much it. And hopefully you guys like the video and subscribe. Otherwise, we have a lot of other things coming for you guys. But until next time, take care.